Welcome, everybody, to Wrestling is Cool, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. Sancho, are you here for this Yeet cast? Are you here for this Yeet down? How you doing?
We are yeeting the night away. Yeet morning to you. Yeet night. I don't know what he's doing. How much did he pay you? How much do you think the WWE paid for the Yeet license to print on T-shirts and for J Main Event Yeet Uso to use it?
Well, I mean, like, the person who owned it had all of the leverage. So I imagine at least, I would say at least 50K. At least.
I was going to say like at least six figures.
You think it gets
like
to
75K maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe a cut of the merchant sales. Maybe.
Oh, that'd be a lot of more money, I would say. I would imagine. I feel like that Yeet shirt is about to get shoved down our throats for a while.
It's disgusting. How are you today, Santi?
Dude, I'm doing great. I just woke up from a nap. I know you were busy in the day, so we pushed the episode a couple of hours. So I was like, that's a perfect opportunity for me to have a Yeet nap. You know, I'm just adding Yeet to everything now. But no, I had a good nap. I woke up. I'm rejuvenated. I spoke to Hollywood Hulk Hogan the other day, which is wild. It's crazy. We did a little charity. It wasn't little. We did really well. $10,000 in 2 hours is not little. That is a good amount of money for the Boys and Girls Club of America. And we had Hulk Hogan there and kind of in character, not in character. That was an interesting milestone in my career.
Was it his favorite Christmas movie, Santa Claus and Muscles, something like that? You can't put your own movie over, Hulk.
I know. What was I supposed to say? Should I call them on that? Because I was just like, yeah, sure, totally.
Come on, Hulk. That movie terrible. Let's be real.
But for those that didn't catch that interview, I'm wearing a shirt right now, not Hulk Hogan's. If you're watching this or listening to this in audio, I'm wearing an LA Knight shirt right now. He put over LA Knight and put him over quite good. The Hulkster is over on LA Knight.
Called him a kid. He said he's a good kid. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot Hulk. You're really old.
He is very old. Yeah, he's still way more jacked than all of us, dude.
He
goodness.
Flexed at the beginning. I was like, oh my goodness, he's amazing.
He's yeeted. Okay, I'm done. That's I promise you that is the last yeet that you're gonna get out of me for the rest of the episode. I promise you.
Sure.
But yeah, man. Other than that, like, been pretty run of the mill, aside from the fact that they started probably one of the coolest, most anticipated feuds in professional wrestling history, which we're going to be talking about in here in just a second. But if you are listening to this on a Friday or on YouTube, just know that you are getting this pretty late. You could have been getting this 3 days early over on patreon.com/SantiZap. The link is in the description of the YouTube video or whatever feed, the description of the Spotify thingy. Again, you're going to get the episode 3 days early, and then you're also going to get my Monday Night Raw reviews and my SmackDown reviews as well. Again, you could have gotten it a bit early for just a couple extra bucks, and to help, of course, keep the lights on and the mics on. We have over 150 people over on the Patreon already. It is growing like crazy. It's only been around for like 3 months. It's already grown to be quite a large community, sir.
Got that. Got a sign already on the television program. Soon we're going to be at the PLE sign. I tell you what. And at the same time, I watched the first Royal Rumble. You didn't know it did not main event the first Rumble?
The first two. The first two. Oh,
Isn't
sorry.
that crazy?
Wait. Sorry, I misunderstood what you're saying. The first Rumble Royal Rumble didn't main event the Royal Rumble pay-per-view is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm,
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I thought what you were saying was that the first Rumble, the winner didn't get to main event WrestleMania, because that's the first two.
Yeah. It was a 20-man Royal Rumble first time around, and Bret Hart wrestling as a heel.
That's always weird to see. For me, there's like certain moments when you go back and watch like old school DVDs or you catch something on the WWE network and you catch a glimpse of a WWE superstar that you know and love from that has one particular persona that you know and love, but then you catch them like 15 years prior and they're in like something entirely different. Like if you catch SmackDown in 2003, you'll catch Batista collecting, church collections for Reverend Devon, wearing the church collection thing on around his neck. It's always bizarre to me. So like Bret Hart as a heel into those early 90s or actually late 80s. It's all weird.
Question. I was going to say this for a future segment, but I want to give you a taste. What is the best gimmick of X wrestler? Here we go.
Oh, that's a wonderful question.
It's a great question. Beginning number one. What's the best version of Edge?
Rated R superstar.
Rated R superstar. I have a secret spot for the Brood Edge.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yes.
Just because he was amazing. Second thing, what's the best gimmick of Mick Foley?
Oh, that's probably the hardest one. I would go with Mankind. I feel like Mankind had the biggest amount of range in terms of like being a super scary heel, but also like a super lovable monster. So I feel like we got the most emotional range out of Mankind.
Okay, last one. Best version of the Undertaker.
Look, I'm in a minority. I like the American Badass. I know everybody's like dead man, but I'm an American Badass guy.
You like Biker Taker?
I like Biker Taker, man. I also think that's the best version of his entrance theme. Like Big Evil, Biker Taker is where it's at, man. I felt like it was just easier to, I don't know, like emotionally resonate with Biker Taker too. I don't know. Like I just feel like Deadman's just like, oh, okay, so you're dead. What else, dude? What else you got? What else you got for me to, to get hyped for this? Aside from you being, one of the greatest to ever do it. What else you got for me?
How dare you bury the Ministry of Darkness Taker, dude? The cult following leader going after the McMahons and then secretly working for the McMahons at the end of the day. I would have to go. It was bad. It was bad. I would have to go with the Return of the Dead Man. That's my best version of Taker. All leather trench coat. That's the best version. Right when he came back. When he brought it back after Biker Taker, that's
WrestleMania 20 against Kane. That's a iconic entrance at WrestleMania 20 at the Garden as well. Okay, I have one that we're both going to agree on.
Okay,
I think we have one that we're both going to agree on. The best version of The Rock. What is your favorite version of The Rock?
Hollywood Rock.
Hollywood Rock. Yes,
Hollywood
man.
Rock's the best one, dude. Best Titantron. Best music. Best everything.
Is cooking.
And he had the best gimmick. It was just the best. The way he would just interact with everyone and everything was beneath him, which was so good. And he was so weirdly, his physique was really weird because it was different because he was lean, like in Hollywood lean, and he was just out there. And he wrestled like a cartoon character, he wrestled like a heel that had no business being there, and that made it work so well. And I loved it.
You're so right. Like the way that he looked was a little bit bizarre. He had lost like a lot of his shoulder mass. So his neck was a little bit longer. I don't know how to explain it. But that character, I put up there with the single greatest heel run of all time. And it was only 4 months that we had that version of Hollywood Rock. That's actually the biggest travesty of all time. And this Hollywood Rock works so well that he was able to lose to the Hurricane and be over. That's just like, that's how you are perpetually over. That you can lose to, I don't mean this disrespectful, but like a bottom feeder wrestler character like the Hurricane and still be ready for a main event quality clash against Stone Cold Steve Austin and be more endeared to the fans.
I like this transition right here. Who's the best version of Seth Rollins?
Oh, that's a wonderful transition. Masterful. Well done. That is a master class in podcasting.
It's an architect.
Yeah, in Yeet casting. Well done.
Oh my, yes. Yeet transition. Yeetrition.
I like the Monday Night Messiah. I don't think that got enough of an opportunity to really flourish. I think it would have been cool to see him as a cult leader type of character. That was really
Far Cry 5 guy.
Yeah. And it was, and I feel like that's the character that fit nicely. What is the missing link, right? If we're from the in between of the architect to this crazy character that we have today, because he was wacky zany, but not obnoxiously to the point where, oh, I am a visionary, I am a revolutionary. I love that character. And yeah, it was the Far Cry 5 guy. I really like that cult leader vibe.
For me, it had to be when he was Authority Seth, when he was just Triple H's calling boy. That was the best version of him. And he didn't deserve anything. And he acted like he was the best in the world. And that brings me to this question. What's the best version of Punk? CM Punk.
Yeah, it's 2011 Punk. Yeah, it's WWE CM Punk when he became a main eventer. Sure, before that, before the summer of Punk, he won some World Heavyweight Championships, but he wasn't even a top 5 guy in the company, even when he was a World Heavyweight Champion. It was the summer of Punk. It was, I am the voice of the voiceless. It was this guy who had an aura of I'm better than you, yet I'm doing this for you. It was the CM Punk that directly went against authority. I think that is the best version of CM Punk.
What if I said this, Santi? On Monday Night Raw, we are seeing the best Seth Rollins and the best CM Punk we're going to get.
You think so?
Oh, I think so. We're talking about a CM Punk with his back against the wall, having to prove that he's the best in the world and that he is not a problem in the locker room. And we have Seth Rollins, who is looking for an edge in his presentation, and he genuinely hates CM Punk. This is going to be the fireworks, and we already saw the fireworks on Monday night. We got the longest stare down with probably 20 cuts of camera that I've seen in my life. It was like he looks at her, he looks at him, and they look at each other, and it was talking about something that we haven't seen in the WWE Monday Night Raw for a long time. And if you are AEW fans out there, you just have to realize, like, this is what AEW is missing now. And it's right here, and it's going to be reminded every Monday night and every PLE that CM Punk main events. It's just like, man.
You had it.
You had it, and now we have it here at WWE. And I do think it's a very different CM Punk, but he seems very dangerous at the same time, because it's like, when is CM Punk going to snap? Because, and I mean in a kayfabe kind of way, when is he going to snap on whoever he's fighting against? Because when he said whatever, my thoughts on the promos, I thought they were great. I thought it was Seth's best promo that he's ever had in the ring, because it wasn't over the top. But for CM Punk to reply in a very old man Aikido, Steven Seagal way, that's going to be your one pass, and don't you ever disrespect me again type vibe. I was like, wow, man, a few words, and he got his point across, and he walks out of the ring. That's what I miss about today's WWE, that there's no one on the mic like CM Punk to be able to point that across with so few words.
CM Punk is the only person that I know that can go toe-to-toe and even be better on the microphone than The Rock. So I'm ultimately not surprised that he can even change up his style of just where he actually sometimes overspeaks and change it to, I'm going to be a man of few words, and still knock it out of the park. We have a question here from Nicholas Kyle over on patreon.com/SantiZap, who asks, now that CM Punk is back, what are your thoughts on this new version of CM Punk that we have? It sounds like you think it's going to be the best version, because Nicholas says he's basically just sucking up to the WWE universe, calling it his home after bashing it for a decade.
It's perfect. It's what's it's supposed to be, because us, the fan that is smart, the ones, and when I don't like using that word, basically the fan that's been with him since 10 years and has been with him in AEW are like, that's not the CM Punk I know. That's not the CM Punk I know. It's obviously a ploy. It's obviously a trick. It's the heel of CM Punk to let everybody know, hey, everything is fine. Everything, I am a good guy now, and I am now pretending to be a good guy, so I won't step on anyone's toes. But I'm telling you, there's going to be a moment where he's going to be super greedy and super selfish, and it could be when he has that belt, and that could be the first start. Because remember, when he had the belt at AEW at the very end, he was turning into a heel. He was going into that a little bit. He had the unofficial belt in that red bag, that type of vibe. So I think this is the best CM Punk, because he's tricking everybody. He's tricking everybody, because who's the heel in this matchup? It's not Seth Rollins.
There is a CM Punk quote that is going to resonate with you. All right, you ready for this? This is directly from CM Punk's lips himself. He said this in Ring of Honor. He said this in the WWE. Not sure if he said this in AEW before. The greatest trick that the devil ever played on humanity is to make humanity forget that he exists. I think you are right here. I think that this is all a fugazi, as they say. I think he's going to pull the rug from under us, and I think that he's going to turn into this vicious version of himself. Unless his merch sales are just like so ridiculous that WWE is like, that we can't do this. We can't pull the plug on it. But that's the thing. CM Punk is one of those few people, and he's proven this back in 2011, that he could out merch sale John Cena while being the heel in the company while being the bad guy in a program. He can still be incredibly popular and still make money for the company. And I think that you're right. I do think that right now we are being played. I think right now we are being caressed. I think right now we are being lulled into a false sense of security, only for CM Punk to prove Seth Rollins right. I think that Seth Rollins is going to be the good guy in this feud, and that CM Punk is going to be the bad guy, and I'm here for it.
The thing about it is, yeah, CM Punk is still an outsider. He is the one that is. That's what makes his promo so interesting, because he's acting as if AEW never existed in his mind, that he's been gone from wrestling for 10 years. He's been gone from the WWE for 10 years. Granted, he does drop a little bit of the nudge, nudge, winks, winks, punching backstage type of moments. But when we saw him do the world tour, it's as if he's been away forever and he's never seen what's happening in the program. It's like we forgot that he was a backstage commentator at the Talking SmackDown, that weird show, right?
Yeah.
It's like we forgot all those moments that he was talking to Daniel Bryan and all that kind of stuff. And all that has been erased. We're in a different timeline where it's as if CM Punk has came back from 10 years and he's lulling everybody to sleep and he's going to strike. Because Seth Rollins can't be heel here. I don't think Seth working heel is going to be as strong as CM Punk working heel. And I think finally we're going to get a wrestler who knows how to work a back. Finally, we'll get somebody that could work a back injury in terms of focusing on it, doing everything he can to exploit it. But I'm just hoping that we drop that angle and just focus on the hate for these two people.
Yes. Yeah. There's no point. There's no point in focusing on the back. It doesn't resonate with CM Punk. Like, CM Punk is not one of those like wrestlers that targets weaknesses and backs and tries to put you out of commission for the end of your career or whatever. Like, CM Punk is an emotional wrestler. He is there to sell a story, not there to sell an injury, not there to sell necessarily the physicality of professional wrestling. He's there to sell the story of it. And I mean, I don't think that I'm over exaggerating when I say that the story potentially being laid in front of us has the potential to be feud of the decade. It really, really does. Like, the stars are aligning for us to get a once in a blue moon type of feud, a feud between not just two great in-ring workers, two great mic workers, two great character workers, but two guys that just like genuinely dislike each other, that can hopefully put that aside to make the other aspects of their strengths come together to give us magic. This feud could feed us for the better part of 6 months. This feud could feed us until the end of Seth Rollins' contract, which apparently comes up in 2024, which I think adds an interesting little wrinkle to this whole situation.
He's not going anywhere.
Well, I don't think he'd be going anywhere. I think he could just take a break. Like, I'm going to be a dad. I don't think Seth Rollins in AEW, that'd be the biggest hypocritical move ever.
It's more like your wife works there too. Like, you know, it's perfect for them. They could travel together and the kids could roll all together. There's just no way. I feel though, this is the equivalent, if I'm for the old heads out there, this would be if Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels got back in the ring close to their prime a lot sooner than when they were way past Bret's injury. If all of a sudden we had Bret and Shawn get back in the same promotion right after the Montreal screw job, because it's that same kind of hate. And it took them decades to forgive each other. Decades. It's the same kind of hate that Hogan and Warrior had forever. It's this animosity between each other. The closest thing I can think of genuine wrestlers that you thought they really hate each other was Hogan and Macho Man. When the Mega Powers broke up, I really thought Macho Man hated Hogan for messing with Miss Elizabeth. Like, it was just
Macho Man was right. Hogan was up to something there. He was up to some shenanigans.
I just remember Hogan not understanding how to handle that angle at all, because he would just be repeat, "Oh, Macho Man Savage, I'm sorry, Macho Man," and then he's like, "Hogan, I'm gonna kill you, Hogan." It was just like so bizarre to me to see that, and I can't think of any other two wrestlers that genuinely work well together and hate each other. I that's the only thing I could pull from. I can't, possibly Attitude Era, probably there was people, but I think the WWE could mess this up. They have to hold this on as long as possible.
Fellas, the holidays are here. I'm already in the mood. I'm wearing my Jingle Bell Rock shirt, and it's going to be bustling. It's going to be busy, and you can't forget to eat healthy. And for that, I've got the perfect sponsor for today's video, Factor. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Factor is going to make sure that you're eating well for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, straight-to-your-door meals. With Factor meals being delivered right to your door, you're going to be saving a tremendous amount of time because you won't have to do any grocery shopping, you won't have to do any meal prepping, you won't have to stress out about what to make. It's just coming directly to your door based on your preferences and what you want to eat that week. And Factor offers a variety of different meals to fit different types of diets. If you're being calorie conscious, you could look at their Calorie Smart options, which are meals that are 550 calories or less. If you want lots of protein, you could look at their Protein Plus, which comes with meals with 30 plus grams of protein. They got keto options, vegan options, veggie options, you name it. So this December, get Factor and enjoy some fresh, tasty, delicious meals that are conveniently delivered right to your door. Just simply pick the meals that you want, wait for them to be conveniently delivered to your door, toss them in the microwave, and within 2 minutes, you're eating a nice, healthy meal with no hassle or prep. So head on over to factormeals.com/Santi50 and use code Santi50 to get 50% off. That's code Santi50 at factormeals.com/Santi50 to get 50% off. That's a pretty wicked deal, y'all, so go check it out. Now back to the video.
One of my problems with WWE lately, Santi, is they've been very scared to putting the feuds on the table early. And that's why we're having problems in the women's division, or them trying to separate Rhea and
Becky. That's the most obvious, egregious one.
It's so bad. I know we're going to probably talk about Raw later, but Maxine sandbagged Rhea so bad. And I haven't seen a receipt on wrestling television in a long time. And when Rhea hit Maxine in the back with a forearm, that was a hard forearm. And that was just like, hey, I think Maxine gassed herself, to be honest. And she was just tired because of the adrenaline. But good Lord, this is the problem that I have. And can they keep Seth and CM Punk separated and keep that fire going? Will it be vignettes? Will it be tag teams? Would it be that Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins interview where, hey guys, we really need to settle this right now? Will Triple H be a moderator between the two? And if we get some real like jabs and things, that's where I see CM Punk talk about Becky Lynch. That's already crossing the line a little bit. No mention of AJ Lee yet, but I think that's the next step. We talked about it in the last podcast. I think it's going to be a tag team between AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. It has to happen.
That would be a pretty wild inter-universal type of mixed tag match. We have a question here from Cash over on Patreon, who was presuming that Gunther was the front runner for the Royal Rumble. Does that change now that CM Punk is here? Do you see the path of CM Punk and Seth Rollins meeting because of a CM Punk victory here?
Yes, of course. It's going to happen. But the great thing about CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble is that now we have options. Is he going against Roman? Is he going against Seth? And that makes it makes the personal vendetta between Seth Rollins even stronger if he forgoes Roman Reigns in the Universal Champion. And it also puts the heavyweight champion on the same level as a Universal Undisputed Mega Intergalactic all-timeline multiverse championship that Roman Reigns has.
Yeah, and I have to give you your props because you convinced me out of this rabbit hole that I was in of like this match doesn't need the world title. I'm convinced it does now. And just as much as the feud needs the title, I think the title needs the feud more than anything. Because I think CM Punk going after this championship makes me now care about this, because before, like we've been saying, it's just been the shiniest participation ribbon in the entirety of the WWE. You mentioned Roman there, and mentioning Roman brings implications of guys like Randy Orton, brings implications of guys like Cody Rhodes, the rest of the bloodline. So that to me is one of the crux, one of the monkey wrenches, as CM Punk called it, that gets thrown into everything. And what I mean by everything
We called it the wrench.
We did call it the wrench. We did.
Watch the last podcast and then watch all the things that happened. We called every beat for beat that was going to happen.
He did. So one of the biggest things that's taken this monkey wrench is the story. And what is the story, Sancho? The story is something that Cody Rhodes has been spewing about for the better part of a year and a half of I have to finish the story. We had an interaction between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk on the most recent episode of SmackDown where they both had a face-to-face interaction where Cody Rhodes says, I guess our stories meet here. You're in the Rumble. That's interesting. So So Sancho, we've been under this belief that the story is Cody Rhodes winning the world championship on the biggest stage and that it has to be against Roman Reigns. Is that still the story? Can the story take a different approach? Who is the main character of the story now? Because now we have CM Punk here, who's the returning jewel. We have Seth Rollins, the defender of WWE. We have Roman Reigns, the face of the WWE. We have Cody Rhodes, the guy who originated the story. We have Randy Orton, the guy who came out of nearly guaranteed retirement. And then LA Knight. Sure, we can toss him in there. Hey, it's a good thing to get involved in to have your name uttered with those greats that I just mentioned. But whose story is it anyway at this point?
Here's a story about a guy named Cody.
I know a guy.
It's still Cody's story. I think the problem is now everyone's using that as their own. Everyone has their own story, and Drew's like, I have my own story. And CM Punk has his own story. And that's what wrestling's all about. People don't understand. That's what makes the WWE so great, is that these wrestlers actually have stories behind them, and they all have something to fight for. And we all want to see them go and complete that story. I still think personally Drew's story is quite interesting, of him trying to capture glory in front of a crowd. Sami Zayn's story is about trying to, usurp the powers to be with the Judgment Day and Bloodline. Roman Reigns has a story. Can't forget about Roman being the tribal chief, have to complete that story. But who's the main character in this entire thing? Who is the one that's as the protagonist? Who's the one that we're happy with the most? And you know that answer? He starts with the letter H and has another H in there and another H. And if he was going to be in a DMV line, he would line up at the H line. It is Hunter Hearst Helmsley himself is the protagonist in this entire story. Don't be a triple T guy. It's about Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He is the protagonist. He's the one that brought back the WWE glory. His booking has been phenomenal. When you go to PLE, when I went to the Survivor Series in Nashville, everyone was stoked because this is Triple H's PLE. This is Triple H's Survivor Series. This is Triple H's WrestleMania. We are in the Triple H era. He needs to finish the story. And the only way he can finish the story, Santi, is he needs to land the plane with the Bloodline and land the plane with Cody and land the plane with CM Punk. That's the thing that we're rooting for now. Is can Triple H book this properly, and can Triple H make this year memorable? And I think he can.
I think that's the most daunting aspect, because it feels like we're in the end game, to quote, Marvel's The Avengers. It really does feel that way, even though WWE doesn't have an end game with how it never does. And yet somehow Triple H has made it feel like we are. And that's kind of a rarity, because under Vince McMahon, there's never really felt anything that's felt like an end game. And yet here we are. We have all of these powers coalescing together at the same time, going into the Rumble, going into the road to WrestleMania. And I haven't seen something like this before, and I am ecstatic. However, I am concerned at the same time that granted, I'm not a writer. I'm not anybody that could land this plane. I just don't see how you land this plane in a way where you have universal satisfaction with WWE fans. Is the way to land the plane Cody defeating Roman Reigns? Like, are we then just happy there? The other thing is, like, is Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at this point in time a big enough feud, a big enough story to be the night 2 main event over Seth Rollins, CM Punk, a feud that's now in the forefront of everybody's brain, a feud that everybody wants to see, a feud that people are calling, the next great feud of all time? I don't know, man. It leaves a lot of unanswered questions here. And those unanswered questions make me a little bit uneasy. But I think it's when you are out of this area of comfort where you end up getting the best television, where you end up getting the best matches and the best shows.
Do you think Triple H could do it? You think Triple H has the ability to, because this is his greatest test, because he set up so many threads and they have to end eventually, or not necessarily end, but they need to reach a stopping point, and a new chapter needs to happen with the bloodline. Who's the next tribal chief? Because I don't think when Roman's contract's up, is he re-signing? Or would the WWE re-sign him for less work again? Would he be like a Undertaker type and show up at PLEs only? I mean, he's showing up less and less. And at the same time, you talked about if Cody wins, I think what people are waiting for is just someone to beat Roman and Seth right now. Everybody's waiting for who's that going to be the next champion, who's going to carry that next torch. Because right now, we're clamoring for anybody to beat. Well, not anybody. Everyone wants the certain. Who do you think people want Roman to be beaten by? We talked about it before. At this point, it has to be Cody. It can't be CM Punk. You can't bring back CM Punk and he beats Roman. That doesn't make any sense to me. It has to be Cody. Cody's the only person that can and has the best chance to beating Roman and not losing the momentum of ending the bloodline. Because that means the end of the bloodline, bro.
If they try to do a story of like, I'm the tribal chief now, I won't care. Once the story with Roman Reigns is done, that's to me the true end of the bloodline. I can't find who asked the question, but it was on Patreon. Somebody had asked, is the expectation that the story is finished between Cody and Roman? Could it be Cody and Randy Orton? Because Randy Orton has the next up at bat against Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. That's more full circle of a storyline in terms of Cody's full career story than Roman and Cody is.
It makes sense. I mean, ultimately, Cody's legacy is winning that belt for his dad, like being a WWE champion.
And does it have to be Roman, though? That's the question here.
But the thing is, like, I remember a time when Randy Orton was champion and people didn't want Roman to be champion, and they were happy that Randy was champion. They were happy that Randy won Royal Rumble, and they were happy that Randy ended up being the champion over Roman at that time, because Roman was being fed down our throats at that time. And then when Randy was champion, no one really cared about Randy being champion. However, after Randy coming off of injury and possibly his last run in the WWE, I think people would be excited for him to beat Roman Reigns, but I think it's too safe of a bet to have Randy beat Roman and then Cody beat Randy. It just, to me, you can't have it's that stare down that throws everything off, bro. The stare down that Cody and Roman had throws a wrench. Again, we're using tools here. Threw everything off because at that moment,
an electric drill.
At that moment, we're like, okay, Cody's moved on, Roman's moved on, perfect. They're no longer going to be at LA Knight's now up to bat for Roman. LA Knight's can be the next guy up. Granted, he wasn't challenging Roman at the time, but we're like on the LA Knight train. And then they had that moment where Cody and Roman stared at each other like at another time, and you're just like, but why? Like, where does it going to go? And now they're not even feuding. You got Cody with Nakamura, and the bloodline is just doing nothing right now. And you had that moment where CM Punk wanted to knock on the door of Bloodline, and he goes, maybe not today.
I don't want to seem like I dodged your question earlier. You had asked me, can Triple H do it? And I think we highlighted one of the problems with Triple H's storytelling, which is like, how do you fill the in-between between major story beats? I think we're seeing one right now with the Bloodline specifically, as Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso are literally just prancing around with no direction in any way, shape, or form. As much as Triple H has rejuvenated and revitalized and made wrestling the most entertaining and the most fun that it's been since I've been watching wrestling, I haven't seen him finish anything. Think about all of the stories that he's done. What's the feud that he's finished? The only one is Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. That's pretty much the only long-term feud that he's really finished.
Maybe Judgment Day and Edge?
maybe. I guess actually that's a good one. And I don't think he landed that very well, though.
No.
I don't think he landed that very well.
No, damage control still going.
Still going. Bloodline still going.
KO, Kevin Owens hasn't turned on Sammy yet, so that's still going.
That's still going. So
that's still going.
Triple H loves his long-term story booking, but we haven't seen him land the plane yet, which is why I'm concerned that I don't know if he can or knows how to land this plane.
Dismantling Bloodline with KO and Sammy with the tag team, that was kind of like an end of a chapter, so to speak, in the story. Right?
But it was only the bottom of the third. You know, like even then, even when it feels like it was a major story beat, it just felt like another chapter in the long-standing story. So we haven't seen him land the plane towards the end. We haven't seen him do the final episode of Breaking Bad where he puts the cherry on top. We haven't seen that yet.
Do you think he delayed the story? Like he delayed it with Jimmy going heel? I think that was you said it was a big misstep there.
I think it was a colossal misstep. I still think that's one of the biggest missteps ever. I think it would have been far more entertaining to see both Usos still going after Roman Reigns. So they've had their missteps. They have had their home runs, but the problem is that we haven't seen a WWE like this before. We haven't seen a WWE that is willing to make storylines go beyond one PLE cycle. That's what I'm used to. I'm used to a Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles storyline lasting from Great Balls of Fire to Capital Punishment or whatever it might be. It's a month and a half. That's what WWE storylines used to be. Can you recall a time where we've had year-long storylines? And we have multiple of them. We have the Judgment Day storyline. We have Damage Control storyline. We have Bloodline storyline. We have Cody Rhodes' storyline. We have so many individual threads and narratives that are lasting years, Sancho. This is weird. Weird in a good way. I'm not saying like gross, weird. It's weird in a good way, which leads to the uncertainty that I'm talking about.
Yeah, what came to mind is I feel like Cody's on a side quest now. Like Cody, after the PLE, he comes out and you're like, oh, okay, who's he gonna face? And Nakamura shows up, and you're like, okay, this is going to be a side quest for Cody. Rhea Ripley's on a side quest right now, going through the women's division and not dealing with Becky. The tag championships are on a side quest right now, waiting for whoever's going to be the number one contender. Gunther's on a side quest right now with The Miz, where it just doesn't feel like, you know what I mean, The Miz is going to be the one that takes away that belt. So I think that what Triple H needs to do is just make a decision and just sit with it. But you can't blame Triple H. He's making money hand over fist right now, delaying the inevitable of the ending of the story. I feel that the story, the person that has not benefited from long-term booking at all, and his name is L.A. Knight. This man has been floating in the atmosphere, in the galaxy, in space of all these threads, and this man does not have a story to tell. He does not have a revenge plot in his mind. He's gone after multiple gold championship belts and has failed at every single turn. The man continues to sell t-shirts and merchandising now with authentic leather jackets, and you see cosplayers in the audience now. You see the Yav movement still. And what is he doing now? Hanging out with Randy? Randy's friend? Randy's bromance that's going to happen here where they're going to compete. Who gets the RKO? Who gets the BTF somebody? What is this, man? They've done a disservice to LA Knight. LA Knight deserves better. LA Knight has been regulated to nothing, and I'm upset.
That's why super long-term storytelling with wrestling is something that doesn't always go to plan. LA Knight is a great example because you probably had all these storylines thought of, and no one in the writer's room was expecting LA Knight to rise from nothing to become the most popular WWE superstar on the roster. The other thing that you can't really account for is injuries, right? But LA Knight demonstrated that you can't account for the extreme super rise of a wrestler that wasn't in your plans. And I think we're kind of seeing the byproduct of that, because you're right. He does feel directionless. I feel like he is the right guy at the wrong time almost, because that main event picture has now gotten so saturated with major names coming back that I just don't think it leaves too much room for LA Knight. But I don't think that there was ever supposed to be room for LA Knight. I don't think that he was ever supposed to be in this situation. LA Knight just forced their hand to put him into that situation. And because there was no plan and there was no vision to have LA Knight there, I think that's why we're seeing him tread water until the writers' room can figure out what to do next with this guy, because they have to do something. They can't just let him, I don't know, rot when he's the one of the most popular guys in the company.
You cannot kill LA Knight's run, though. You thought you did by giving him Bray. No. You thought you did by giving him Roman too early. No. You thought you did by giving him Miz. No. But what can kill LA Knight is CM Punk and Randy Orton and those guys. And that will mean everything that John Cena did, all his work to putting LA Knight over, would be for nothing.
I don't know, man. Like that most recent episode of SmackDown, that main event with Randy Orton, he was more over than Randy. He really was getting more of a crowd reaction than Randy freaking Orton.
Where does that go then? Randy versus LA Knight?
It could. Randy's the type of guy that could play any character at any moment in time. That'd be a huge feud for LA Knight, a massive boost from where he was a year and a half ago, where he was a manager for Maximum Male Models. But I think people like you, Sancho, and some other people in the community are so dead set on it being a world title. It doesn't need to be. I'm using you, the royal you, not necessarily you specific.
Editorial me.
Yeah, okay. Yes, yeah. There's this main event picture is so crowded, but we are not in a traditional WWE right now. The traditional WWE is out the window. We already talked about it with how weird it is that we have year-long storylines. The traditional WWE, the premise is the most popular guy goes after the world title. I don't think that we're in that world anymore. I don't think that we're in the world that the most popular face has to win the world title. I think that we're in a world where we have 5 PLE matches instead of 12. And those individual 5 PLE matches can be massive attractions. And LA Knight could be one of those massive attractions without having gold around his waist. I still think that he can absolutely be a main event player without having main event gold. Look at Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes people think of Cody Rhodes, I think that there's some sort of Mandela effect as if he's some sort of world champion. He hasn't held a world championship since coming to the WWE, and yet he's still utilized as a main attraction. And that's not normal for the WWE to do that. And I think that they could replicate a similar run with LA Knight. It doesn't have to be world titles.
Yes, you're not hearing me. What I'm trying to tell you, it's the WWE's fault, because they had LA Knight talk about championships for, I don't know, months. He would say, I want this belt. I want that belt. I'm going to challenge you for the United States, number one contender.
That's true.
Now I want this belt. Now I want that belt. And the whole time we're saying LA Knight doesn't necessarily need belts. But my point is, you had him go straight from, I'm going to be a number one contender, to the United States title where he belonged. And we were hoping that he would stay there for a while to marinate before Logan, before Ray. And now you vaulted him straight into the Roman Reigns. And that is where I was like, wait a minute. If we're here, then pull the trigger. If you're going to put the man here, there's nowhere else he can go, because now you blew it, because he can't go back to United States title. His only option would be to go against Gunther now. And that would be a good step down. That'd be a great, okay, you took out Gunther, you outsmarted Gunther, you're tougher than Gunther, perfect, we'll see you in the Intercontinental, you hold that for a bit, you have a great run like the Stone Cold or the Rock, and you do your thing with the Intercontinental until like you mentioned, the saturated main event starts to dwindle, or Roman needs a break, or Randy needs a break, or CM Punk needs a break, call up LA Knight. But right now, he cannot be the little brother to Randy, and that's what I'm scared of, that he feels like he's the little brother when he's in the background of the stare down or a meet between Randy and CM Punk. That's not where that's not where the megastar belongs. And the megastar just goes, yeah. No. When's the last time have we had a LA Knight promo on SmackDown, Santi? When's the last time that we've seen this man on the PLE? Santi?
It's been a minute. And yeah.
He's number 12 on our new heat order.
He's going to be going down maybe even more.
Oh, he was number 1 for the longest time. And my frustrations, just to bring it back to the question about what is the WWE story, the WWE is a place where American dreams are made. It is where dreams... Let me finish. Don't make that face. Let me finish. All right? Let me finish.
Sure, go ahead.
Here we go. Everybody that's in that WWE locker room has dreamt to be a WWE superstar. When they made it to the WWE, their dreams have come true, and they all want a main event, a WrestleMania, and they all had dreams about winning the Royal Rumble. That is a fact. Now, LA Knight is a man that has grinded his tail off to the bottoms of wrestling, to the bottoms of commercial work, for taking any job that he can do, for being in any video this man could do, for being a security guard, for being a valet. This man has done it all across different promotions. And you know what the story is, Santi? And what's so great about the WWE is that you can achieve your dreams right in front of everybody, and you could capture that WWE championship belt. You could work your way from nothing to a superstar level. And they have denied us of that story for so long. And that LA Knight story will continue to crawl, will continue to brew, and we will watch that story. And I'm telling you, when LA Knight wins the championship, you're going to hear one of the biggest pops of all time. That's the story of the WWE. I thank you, my honor.
Yeah, no, well, that was a wonderful TED Talk. I think you're right. I think that is the nature of the story of the WWE. A lot of people just, because they heard Cody Rhodes say the story, like it's Cody Rhodes' story. I think the WWE story as a whole is stories like LA Knight. And you're right. We have been denied of it. But we've also been denied of Jey Uso finishing his story. We've been denied of Finn Balor finishing his story. We've been denied of Riddle. We've been denied of so many people finishing their story because of Roman Reigns and because of Seth Rollins. So boo-hoo is what I'm trying to tell you. All right. It's not just about LA Knight. What you did LA Knight? They're not giving him a chance. So many people have gotten mauled over just like LA Knight. Cry about it. You know who's not getting mauled over these days? The Super Creeds, the Creed brothers, who are just annihilating everyone in the tag team division. These guys are supposed to be the rookies from NXT and are looking like a tag team. They're looking like Super Cena in 2009 defused. And now we have two individuals running around destroying the tag team division. I was so excited for their call up because the Creed brothers cut their teeth in NXT and won the NXT universe over by their incredible matches, their awesome feats of strength. The things that Julius Creed can do is actually like not human, but that's not why we love them in NXT. We love them because they got a lot of time backstage to develop as characters and endear themselves to the NXT universe. So what we ended up getting in their later run in NXT was two guys that everyone just genuinely liked that were awesome ass kickers in the ring. And I feel like the WWE and Triple H are just completely bypassing, trying to just replicate the same thing that worked, which took them a couple of years, and they're just trying to do it in 4 weeks. And now I don't like the Creed brothers. They're getting annoying. Now they're making saves on Cody Rhodes for some reason. They're closing out Monday Night Raw when they literally just got called up to the main roster. Again, Sancho, tell the world, was I not the one waving the Creed brothers flag when they got called up?
Man, and I remember right away I said, I don't like them. I'm not seeing it. And you're like, no, wait, you're going to fall in love with him. And well, guess what, Santi? They fed us, and they fed us Creed. They've been putting Creed in segments. They've been beating all our favorite tag teams, and I hate it. And I'm allergic to it, too. That was a sneeze there, real sneeze.
Yes, for the audio listeners, that was a legitimate sneeze right there.
It's a legitimate sneeze because I'm allergic to being pushed to the moon. I hate these pushes. They're the worst. And I feel bad for the Creed brothers. Let's be real.
Yeah.
you can't blame them because they're being asked, okay, you're going to go save Cody and you're going to go save RTruth. And what are you going to say? No.
Yeah.
I don't think that's best for business. And that is what's unfortunate. Right now they're building up go away heat, unfortunately. I think for the people that listen to this podcast, there's going to be a lot of people that say, no, they're fine. But for someone that's been eating a lot of wrestling for years and years and watching it on a daily basis, like yourself and myself, you could just tell when the machine's at work. And when the machine's at work for somebody and the WWE is saying, you need to like this team because of they saved this person, they've done this, it's just going to backfire on them. And at this point, if they keep doing it, I think that's what they're hoping for, that it backfires and we'll start booing them because there's just nothing for us to latch onto. When I hear their music, I don't get any like excitement because I don't know what their music is, for crying out loud. I haven't heard it so much. And when they run, I don't know. Like for me, I like the idea when they run out to save RTruth and then Judgment Day got back and I was like, cool, perfect. They're not ready yet. They're rookies trying to do the right thing. I love that. But then they start beating Judgment Day when they're outnumbered. I was like, I'm out. All right. Not even RTruth gets up to help too. All right. I'm out. And then the icing on the cake, the stinky farts in the elevator as the doors close is them closing out Monday Night Raw, saving Cody. Unless someone was supposed to and forgot their cue and they sent out Creed. I don't see what else could it be. It's just a bummer, man. Is this going to be one of those things where we're just like, when they win or I'm not going to root for them when they fight Judgment Day. No.
Man, and I feel I feel betrayed because I was the one, I was the biggest not necessarily apologist, but I was like the one politicking. Yeah, I was politicking for them. I was absolutely politicking for them.
Yeah.
And look, you mentioned the machine. And you can smell the machine at work. You can just sense it. It's there. Yeah. And something I've realized, Sancho, is once the machine is at work, once WWE is wanting to force a particular narrative, that narrative is happening. The Creed brothers are going to win these world titles. I'm like, that is, dude, I'll mortgage my life on it at this point, and I don't want it. I want to see a struggle for them to get to where they are at the moment. Like they shouldn't. Look, you know how that episode should have ended? It should have ended with Cody Rhodes writhing in pain. That's it. You didn't need a run-in. You could have just had Nakamura beat him down. That's how it should have ended. I love the idea of them saving RTruth. That's great. But you're right. They shouldn't have gotten such a huge upper hand on Judgment Day. It just feels forced. And I'm seeing it coming from a mile away. And I'm smelling the machine. And it's been a while since I've smelled the machine. I feel like
Roman was the last one.
Yeah, because throughout the pandemic, the Triple H era, I have not felt the machine at play. And if the machine has been at play, it's been subtle, and it hasn't been overt. This is the machine slapping us.
They came out and they beat to interference DIY Michael Cole.
DIY.
They beat them. They beat New Day. Then they did like a gauntlet. No, they beat Alpha Academy. Then they did a tag team gauntlet and they beat everybody. And now they beat. It's just too much. It's too much too soon.
Ivy Nile going up against Rhea now.
And then at the same time, WWE, you had a great gold thing with RTruth at Judgment Day, a beautiful thing. And when he got to the ring and RTruth was like, y'all, we need to kick JD out. Was just like, this is the best thing I've seen in a long time since Sami Zayn and Bloodline. And I was just like, please let him swindle and get JD out and let JD try to get back in, because I'm down for that, because it was funny to me because I really thought Damien was liking it. And I thought it was funny. It was like the funniest thing I've seen in a long time, because it was like, oh wait, is RTruth gonna get in the Judgment Day here? Just because he's like so helpful and he comes up with like ideas for the merch game.
The TV.
but they blew it, dude. They blew it. They were just, I think they were just too afraid for it to get stale, or they ran out of ideas, or they set that all up for the Creed brothers. And me losing out the opportunity that RTruth would be in Judgment Day for the Creed brothers makes me hate them more. hate them. They're great. They're good dudes, good young lads. They have a future. I just don't like the machine that's at play right
The
now.
machine, you can smell the
The
machine. Look,
Vince, it's Vince,
it could
you
be-
know?
we talked a little bit about this before we started recording. I really look, December is typically the most down time of the year for wrestling. It just doesn't happen to be the case right now because of the return of CM Punk and Randy Orton. But typically, all right, December starts to get boring Christmas episodes that get pre-taped usually, episodes with very few consequences. And I think you could have ran an RTruth storyline of him trying to get into the Judgment Day for weeks. Look, my heart was legitimately aching when he got attacked, when Damian Priest attacked him. Imagine had they built to that moment for like 4 weeks. I'm not saying this needs to be another Triple H year-long storyline. Just 4 weeks of Judgment Day stringing him along. That would have actually broken my heart. Actually, I might have cried if they did that.
RTruth buying Christmas presents for them and everything. You know, he's like, hey, I got you. And it's like perfect gifts. And they're like, oh, wow. RTruth, like Dominic, yeah. And Finn Balor's happy with his present. Damian's happy with his present. Rhea's happy. And they're like, oh, yeah, we like RTruth. And then they just put him in. Oh, that would have been bad. Like, had a ceremony. Like, we're going to have a ceremony for Judgment Day. He comes out and they have that jacket like they had JD. And they're like, yay. And then they beat him down.
Oh, that could have been like Festival of Friendship good, like in terms of the betrayal. I still think, look, if any WWE writer is listening to this, you can fix this. All right. RTruth is a wacky character. Have him forget about all of this for next episode. Just what's up, JD? And just comes right back into the picture and they're like, dude, we just beat the crap out of you. You can still fix this, WWE. Please do not stop RTruth and Judgment Day because there is still so much meat on that bone. You can still do so much good, but Creed brothers, get out of this. You don't need to be in this. RTruth and Judgment Day, that's all I need to see. That's all I need to see.
What if he was like, oh, don't worry about it, Damian. We're family, man. And family sometimes they have their throws, but at the end of the day, I love y'all, man. No matter what, we're family, right? Judgment Day. and you're just like, oh, that poor RTruth.
It'd be beautiful. An like really beautiful storyline that they could do. Oh man. MJF, Iron Claw, taking a bunch of pictures with people. He's all over the place. MJF is turning into Waldo. Like, where is MJF these days? He's just appearing on social media with pictures with John Cena, pictures with Baron Corbin, pictures with Liv Morgan. He's everywhere. You wanted to talk about MJF, so what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about? This is the same time as LeBron James and Dwayne Wade talking to each other and on the banana boat. It's the
you think this is Banana Boat Gate?
This is Banana Boat Game all over again. You cannot ignore the WWE. MJF has been teasing this for years, that MJF is willing to listen to the WWE. And you cannot ignore that AEW is not looking that great in terms of having him work 2 PLEs a night and 2 matches a night, a PLE or a pay-per-view, having him injured, having him, where's the company going? So much turmoil at the AEW. And you look over at WWE and you look at John Cena right face to face, you shake his hand and John Cena talks to you on the red carpet of a movie and he's talking, just treating him with the utmost respect. John Cena's treated him like he is a superstar already. Shaking his hand, whisper a little something. Oh, WWE's been great for me. I'm an actor now, rocking it here on the red carpet. You may have heard. Oh, really? And then MJF getting into producing movies. You think you're going to want AEW in your corner when you're trying to be a producer? Or do you want the WWE machine behind your corner? You cannot be happy for Tony Khan if you're seeing MJF running around with WWE talent. You cannot. Because it's just like this in anything. And if he wasn't AEW, WWE, if I was talking to some other company and they were telling me how great it is over there, I'd be listening. I would be like, yeah, man, it's not great at my job, but you're saying you get Fridays off too? Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to listen to that. And they're talking about it. And MJF has to be able to, he's all ears. And the best thing about it Vince McMahon being gone, this is what Triple H's greatest strength is that he gives room for anybody to come to the WWE because they know that they'll be respected. And MJF, he's coming. I feel it. Banana boat.
And, you mentioned the whole respect thing, right? Like, Jade Cargill hasn't stepped foot in a WWE ring, and she had that entire month and a half where she was being treated like, the biggest get in WWE history. Imagine what they could do with somebody like Maxwell Jacob Feinstein. I'm sure they probably changed his name. I think that's his original name that he sent in for Tough Enough. There's a really cool tape of MJF when he's 18 doing his audition tape for WWE Tough Enough, and that was his original name, Maxwell Jacob Feinstein. I'm curious if WWE would just change his name slightly like that to still be MJF. Anyways, I'm getting into something else. Yeah, dude, I just thought it was cool. I didn't connect the dots like you did with the whole banana boat. Yes, for those that don't know this reference, we keep saying banana boat, and you're probably like, I'm from Slovenia. Actually, no, basketball's big over there. What's a country where basketball's not big? Quick, Sancho. Canada. Screw you. Are you kidding me? Steve Nash? Shaquille Alexander? Raptors champions? Wow. Unnecessary. All right, we got some guy in Nunavut, Canada. I'll give you an area of Canada. That's like, what's the banana boat? I'm in a nice glacier. Why do you ride a banana? This is the story of LeBron James conversing with Dwayne Wade, which ultimately... And Chris Bosh, which ultimately led to Chris Bosh leaving the Toronto Raptors, LeBron James leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers, all to convene in South Beach and take their talents over there and not win as many championships as they thought they were going to, but they were still incredibly dominant. That's what you're referencing here. You're thinking that this is the moment where MJF is having these conversations, realizing, ooh, they got it pretty good over there. Baron Corbin, you're loving it over there? You're crushing it now? You're making how much money, Baron Corbin? Okay, I like it. I could see that. I could see where you're coming from here. And I like it. I would love to see MJF in the WWE. I still think that there would need to be a change to the tone of his heel promos. I've said this before. I'll say it one more time. I think his heel promos can be cheap sometimes. Unless he's actually like talking to somebody directly. When he's talking to the crowd and trying to gain heat, it's usually you're all ugly, stupid, make less money than me, and you're all inbreds. Of course they're gonna boo you. So I would just like to see a little bit more dimensions to MJF. But MJF, a lot of people think that like, oh, well, WWE would just like dilute him and make him worse. It's like, okay, well then if MJF is not able to thrive in that WWE environment, an environment where they make way more money, so yes, they have to dilute the things that you say, then maybe MJF isn't as good as we all say. I think he is as good as we all say, and I think he would thrive in the WWE machine. The machine.
Here's one guy that will make it happen, and there's one story that MJF would like to finish. And that's CM Punk,
the greatest dog collar match of all time.
You have to finish that story. It started at AEW, and if WWE is the place where MJF needs to finish that story, then it needs to be finished over there. And it's like you can't blame MJF for wanting to go to WWE if you feel that AEW is not a safe environment for him. And I know there's people that listen to us they're diehard AEW fans. And I get that, but you cannot argue that right now that there is just so much turmoil over there and there's not a lot of confidence into the direction where we're heading. You got the internet blowing up where AEW is deleting tweets, or wrestlers are deleting tweets, that there's rumors that Daniel Bryanson is like
the hall monitor.
The hall monitor, right? And there's like the memes of him just like looking over everybody. It is rumors, where there's smoke, there's fire type of thing. And I know that the internet could sometimes spin things out of control, and there's always going to be an answer or logical reason behind that. But if you're MJF and you have a torn labrum, for crying out loud, and they're probably asking you, can you please show up to this PLE? Can you please do something? Can you cut a promo here? Can you travel here? And this man just needs to heal, and he has no time to heal for them. I would think that some time off, shows up next year, maybe at a Royal Rumble. That'd be crazy. Sancho,
before we go into the new heat order, there's a very interesting tweet that made me think. And it was that in 2019, 2020, and 2021, people started tuning into AEW because WWE was a company being run by a singular billionaire making all the decisions that he wanted and not the decisions that the fans wanted.
Wow.
All right. Now we look at AEW versus the WWE. Who's the one that has the singular billionaire making all the decisions, not necessarily giving people exactly what they want?
I don't think it's Tony Khan. I think the wrestlers are running that AEW.
Well, I mean, the way it sounded over the last year and a half, yeah. But anyways, I just thought that was an interesting tweet. More like, not necessarily, I don't think we need to dive into like, oh, Tony Khan is now this guy that's like running with an iron fist. It's just the change of narrative that has happened over the last, what felt almost instant. This change of narrative where AEW went from being the cool company to the not so cool company. And now WWE is the cool company, because it was completely the opposite way last time.
If WWE just changes a few things, they could be a lot cooler. Like, please stop playing so many commercials during your last main event. Like, come on, don't just go 4 minutes into something and then we'll be right back. There's a lot of things they could do a lot of better. And it's just there's gonna be more like advertising with them. And I just think right now, if you're MJF, after talking to literally John Cena on the red carpet of the world premiere of Iron Claw, the WWE has to have a better light in your eyes than it has before.
Yeah. New Heat order, the new Heat order. Do you think much is going to change this week?
Yes.
Do you think so? You think so?
Yes.
Okay, but you have this narrative of pushing up LA Knight. Anyways, sorry, go ahead and explain to the world.
The New Heat Order is a fun list that Santi and I put together in terms of the top 20 superstars that are moving the needle, that are getting the best buzz, the best heat, and whose storylines we're excited to see, and who's doing some really great action in the ring. We've had so many different fun New Heat Orders. Let me go ahead and read the list. It is number 1, CM Punk. Number 2, Randy Orton. Number 3, Seth Rollins. Number 4, Drew McIntyre. Number 5, Logan Paul. Number 6, Gunther. 7th, RTruth. 8th, Rhea Ripley. 9, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cody Rhodes together. 10, Santos. 11, Becky Lynch. 12th, LA Knight. 13th, Sami Zayn. 14th, Judgment Day. 15th, Main Event Jay. 16th, Kevin Owens. 17th, Bobby Lashley. 18th, Nia Jax. 19th, the general managers of Raw and SmackDown. And 20th, Dragon Lee. Now, would like to move up Seth Rollins to number 2.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. That was the first thing I was going to say. Absolutely. Move Seth Rollins to 2.
And I would like to move Randy below Drew. I think Drew is still cooking beyond. Like, the things that Drew is doing, and I think that him taking on whatever, who's he wanted to win? He wants to take out more people that have wronged him than the last time. I'm trying to remember what he did last time.
He had a match with Jey Uso, beat Jey Uso.
And then he get fined? Is that what happened to him?
No, Randy got fined. He's the one that's like, oh, here's 100,000. Oh, it's only 50. It's for the next time.
I just feel like Randy is just too cool for school. And I like Drew.
It's not that. It's not that. I'll tell you why Randy moves down a little bit of a peg.
Yeah.
Because Roman's not there. It's tough. It's tough to tell a narrative and a story when the guy you're supposed to be facing isn't there. I think we're going to move Randy up. We're going to be more hot on Randy when he actually has his sights set on the goal, has his sights set on the guy that's holding the prize that he wants. The problem right now with Randy and LA Knight is Roman's not there.
I agree. Now, we had CM Punk do a world tour.
I'm loving this world tour. I'm loving it.
He went everywhere around the promotions, had little run-ins with everybody. My favorite one's "You're Jamaican me crazy," and then, what did he say right there? He's like, "Yeah, we don't do that."
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Kofi was hilarious. I was like, "Yeah, we don't do that anymore, man." Oh, that was hilarious. I think CM Punk still stays at 1, of course. That's untouchable.
Yeah.
I think Logan Paul not appearing on TV. I haven't seen anything with him. He did do a podcast with Randy Orton.
He did. And that matters. That matters. We talked about that. We talked about him staying in the conversation, keeping his finger on the pulse, and podcasts like that are absolutely a way to do that.
Yeah. I do feel that he does slide down a little bit, Logan.
Yeah.
I think RTruth falls out of the top 10. Because it looks like they're putting a close on his involvement with the Judgment Day. One thing I want to say, though, is the show in the SmackDown in front of the troops I feel that's hard to be a barometer to some things. Because CM Punk, he cut a great promo there, but I don't think he got as much like love for his promo there, because that's when he mentioned about the punching in the backstage and all those kinds of things.
Went over a lot of people's heads. It went over mine initially.
Yeah. I think Kevin Owens goes up, and that stare down with CM Punk, a little bit of like, ooh.
Yeah, it's a little bit of intrigue.
Who falls out of this list?
I'll tell you one more that moves up. Dragon Lee, new North American champion.
That's not on. That's NXT though.
Yeah, but like that's a main roster. Okay, wow. What? No. Making these arbitrary rules on the spot here.
No NXT talent. No anything that happens. Granted, we did talk about Dominic. And
yes. Becky Lynch.
Okay. He does not go above LA Knight. I don't care what you say.
Dude, your protection for LA Knight is admirable, honestly.
I've gotten cold on Becky Lynch and Nia Jax, to be honest. I didn't like that promo they had.
Ooh, I kind of liked it.
I didn't like it because it's like Becky says to herself, she says she's being petty, and it is very petty. And it feels like yes, Becky, that moment of Ronda was robbed from us. Yes, she didn't appear on that PLE, but she's benefited from it so much more. Like, why is Becky upset at it? It'd be different if Nia was doing something heelish to get her, but Nia's just chilling and Becky called her out. Like, I don't know, kind of feels weird.
Okay.
It's it's a delay tactic for Rhea and Becky.
It's
I don't
all
like
it is. We all know where the road is leading. It's leading to Rhea versus Becky, and now they're just on their side quest. They've been in a year-long side quest, dude.
Yes, I know. It's annoying me.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not hot on either of them. You are you're politiquing your way out of having to move up Dragon Lee here. Okay, well, what else?
I'm putting Becky and Nia Jax at 20. They make it.
Okay, they make it in. Okay.
I put Dragon Lee at 18th because I'm going to put the managers up there.
Yeah.
They carried the CM Punk story of like trying to recruit him. They had that they had both great backstage segments.
Yep.
I think Adam Pearce has been doing a great job. I think them being so like a strong presence and a physical presence that it's been very exciting to see what they do, and like go talk to Adam, go talk to Nick Aldis, like all that kind of stuff is working for me. I think it's great, and it's creating some great framework for the television shows. Dare I say, I'm putting them in the top 15.
Oh, you know what? This is the most important managers have felt in a really long time. So yeah, give it to me. I'm down.
Okay. Does main event Jay, who has got his Yeet back, it's just like his Shawn Michaels got his smile back. Does Jey Uso move up, losing despite getting his Yeet back to Drew McIntyre?
I don't think so. I'm not particularly like eager to see what's next with main event Yeetso.
I think Yeetso moves 19th then.
Okay.
Or does he go to 20th? I think he goes all in 20th.
You think I'm okay with having Becky and Nia ahead of him right now.
My problem was they made so much on that word Yeet that they forgot about the character and main event Jay.
Are you and I still willing to keep the Creed brothers off?
Yes, 100%. 100%. I am. It is bad. Does Gunther move up? It's 6. I mean, he didn't get a win. The Cleveland Boys
got the W. Well, I think it's fair to put Gunther alongside just all of Imperium, just because they've been more of a faction recently, and especially this week. So we can just put Imperium as a faction. I think that they should be on this list.
Okay, I'll find the boys. I gotta find all the Imperium.
That's okay. If you can, it can just be implied that Gunther is Imperium.
Okay, so does Gunther slide out of the top 10 though?
Yeah, I would say so. Unless you can make a case for him to not.
Again, I'm telling you, Imperium is slowing Gunther down. They're the buffoons. They should be an elite world-class faction where they don't lose, where they don't make any mistakes. That's the whole beauty thing about that European vibe is like, we don't make mistakes. We're Team Iceland.
Yeah, they're generals. Team Iceland's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You know what
Mighty Ducks reference.
Mighty Ducks 2 reference. We will definitely, outplay you, out wrestle you. We won't make mistakes. We never beat ourselves, and yet they beat themselves all the time.
Clarify, Iceland's not that good at hockey. Could have totally just used Canada, but okay.
Yeah, but you guys are too nice to be mean. You can't be heels in the world of
hockey,
world of sports.
I guess in sports, you're right. Yeah, we were kind of heels for the Raptors, but that's not really Team Canada. Anyways,
so I'm gonna put Gunther at 10. I'm gonna slide RTruth. I do feel like it was a very heel thing to do. I'm taking RTruth off. I feel like Judgment Day, after having some funny backstage segments, and then Damian having that stare down with CM Punk. This is the great thing about CM Punk is he elevates everybody.
Yeah.
So I feel that Judgment Day as a faction telling CM Punk we run things around here, and now we're gonna have Judgment Day and CM Punk vibes. I think that puts them at least in the top 10 conversation for me.
I'm the most interested in Judgment Day that I've been in a while. And I think it was a combination of the CM Punk stare down and RTruth. I'm the most interested I've been in a while in JD. More interested in them leading into War Games, honestly.
Right. And I thought they would win War Games, by the way, but they didn't. I thought that was a misstep as well. Like, why not have... I don't know. It was perfect the way the Survivor Series happened, but it sacrificed Judgment Day's run. I think The Miz, though, still white hot. Still a baby face.
They're giving him the Cody Rhodes storyline where if he loses, he can't challenge for the championship ever again. That was a storyline of his in AEW.
AEW, yeah, I remember that. Does he go? I think he goes ahead of Gunther. He goes ahead of Gunther.
Got a big win over them, so sure. Okay.
I'm liking where this list kind of rounding out. I think Bobby Lashley, he got a win against Karrion Kross. Where is Bobby Lashley? He has a face again.
It's so fun. It's so funny, man. Like we were laughing about how he's the worst at his job ever. He's incapable of being disliked, and then they put him in a match as a former Army veteran. I'm not sure what the terminology is, a service member, in front of a tribute to the troops. Of course, he's gonna be the good guy there. They just, and then the Street Profits come out and dance with him afterwards. Like, what are you people?
I'm gonna move him up to 14th though.
I think Bobby's in this still. You know, he's getting victories. He's getting crazy reactions. People like him, whether they're supposed to hate him.
Does Santos get any love for you?
Big win over Dragon Lee. Moving. Oh. Yeah, he still gets love from me. I still think that we're dealing with the best version of Santos, but he's losing steam week by week. The more and more that he does not have interactions with Carlito, with Zelina, with the two guys from LWO, and with, most importantly, Rey Mysterio, the more that they continue to keep him away from that group, the more he's going to lose steam.
Here's my case, sir. LA Knight deserves to be in the top 10 because LA Knight still gets the pop, still gets the buzz. You said so yourself, has a bigger overdraw than Randy right now, and he is punches and everything, and getting his BTF stolen in that one moment, that smirk between him and Randy, like, all right. I want to see a little bit of what's going to happen with Randy and LA Knight. I'm on.
Sancho, I can see the determination in your voice. I don't think there's anything I could say to stop you from putting him in the top 10. I will grant you this for this week. This is the one and only time I'm gonna let you talk to me and disrespect me like that with LA Knight. The first one's free.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think Nakamura and Cody goes up to 6th place. I love that finish. I was happy that it
really loved the Creed brothers, man. Yeah, I know you loved it.
No.
I know you love that. You're really hot on the Creeds.
My DVR ended when he spit in his face. No, I thought it was great. I think Nakamura being the heel, getting the DQ, perfect. It was a great match too.
I love
Had some
the
good
ending
stuff,
sequence where it was like 3 minutes of Cody offense. You're like, oh, it's Cody
over.
destroying Nakamura right now. And then I like the narrative of that, like Nakamura being like, oh my God, the only way I can get out of this like never ending combo. It was like Mortal Kombat. He had him in a corner, just comboing him. The only way he could get out was by disconnecting from the match. He used the mist.
This is cheating. I think Rhea Ripley drops out of the top 10.
Just have her with Judgment Day, honestly. No, you don't even want to do that?
No. Mommy's on her own, mama. Huh?
Okay.
Come on. Okay. Mommy's always been by herself on this new Heat order.
She's not on top right now, clearly.
I think she takes a step back, dude. That was a very here's how I would have booked that match.
Oh, that match was rough. That was rough.
Here's what I would have done it. Hear me out. She right away hits a riptide quickly and refuses to pin her, and then keeps hitting her with riptides over and over and over again. And then the who was on the outside again? Ivy Nile comes in and says that's enough and gets in between and draws the DQ.
Can't be worse than what we got. So
no, I know what they were trying to do, make Rhea look like a monster and beat up the super green Maxine, but it just came off so sloppy. And like I'm saying, that receipt was nasty. That's how I would have booked it. I think that drops her down to 11.
Okay, that's fine. The reason I was fighting is because I thought you were going to kick her off the top 20.
No. Okay. Here what I have so far. We have a hole in 17th. KO and Sami Zayn are still on this list at 13th and 16th.
We got to remove Sami. He wasn't even on television this week.
Okay, I think we talked about moving KO up though because of the stare down with CM Punk.
Yeah.
Does he move above Rhea and Sami and Santos, or just below them?
He's below them. Like it was only a stare down. It was cool, but that's all he did.
Does he move past Bobby?
Yeah. Bobby didn't really do much either. But
does he move past the GMs?
Those GMs were cooking. I'm gonna say that's where it stops.
Okay. Does he go past Dragon Lee?
No. Wait. Yes. I do think he goes past Dragon Lee. Okay. Yes. So have
13th and 17th open.
Ooh. Just like flat out open, huh?
Flat out open. No love for Tozawa. Oh, Ivar and Braun Reed.
That was filthy, bro. That was a good match. That was a very, and that was a match. That was the match that followed Seth Rollins and CM Punk. That's a tough spot to be in, and those big boys came out to play.
Oh yeah. I'm very comfortable in putting him at 13th above Bobby Lashley.
Are you wanting to put them as a tandem?
Oh yeah. It's like it reminds me of Sheamus versus Cesaro.
Oh, the best of 7. Yeah, like you can't have one without the other right now.
Exactly, and you're like, oh yeah, I want to see them go at it. You know, see meat on meat, Tsunami versus whatever that moonsault that Ivar has. Just please, no, I want him to be Tsunami to death where he forgets that he's a Viking. All right, we have 17th available.
That's the only. Charlotte's hurt. Asuka won her match, but like
Bailey tried to save, and that doesn't work out. New Day hasn't been doing anything. Karrion Kross still has the coolest entrance in WWE, and he's not really doing.
Really do anything.
Ricochet has it. Alpha Academy, Backseat Segment, Piper and Chelsea are kind of just commentary fodder when they show up and do that. Nikki Cross hasn't appeared anywhere.
I mean, the Caden Carter and Katana Chance, the Party Girls, they've been getting a lot of hype on TV. Like, here's what I would do. I would actually give them some love. I'd put them at 20 and move everyone up one spot.
Okay.
Because they've been winning. They've been getting a bunch of backstage segments. They got that like hype package of them like partying at the rave.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with giving them some love here. But 20.
Katana and
Caden.
Okay, yeah, they're both
Carter.
right next.
Yeah.
Okay, they're bright. I think this is her. Okay, this is her. I found her. They're like wearing bright green outfits.
That would be them.
All right, perfect. All right, here he goes. Here's the list. Creed's
at number 1.
No. Here's the list. I made some adjustments on the fly. I think you might agree with them.
Didn't even consult me. This tyrannical Sancho. Anyways, go on.
Number 1, CM Punk. Number 2, Seth Rollins. Number 3, Drew McIntyre. Number 4, Randy Orton. Number 5, Cody Rhodes and Nakamura. Number 6, Logan Paul.
Okay.
Number 7, LA Knight. Number 8, Miz. Number 9, Gunther. Number 10, Judgment Day. 11th, Rhea Ripley. 12, Santos. 13th, Ivar and Bronson Reed. 14th, Bobby Lashley. 15th, the GMs of Raw and SmackDown. 16th, KO. 17th, Dragon Lee. 18th, Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. 19th, Main Event Jay. And 20th, Katana and Kaden.
Done. I'm happy with that list. That's the list for the week.
I knew you'd be.
You know, it's not about the fact that, that you did it. It's the fact that you didn't ask me. All right.
All I know is the New Heat order is accurate. It is accurate. There should be a scientific research on how accurate our New Heat order is, because when we we put Tozawa on 20th and he went up, he started rising up and got more on TV.
Dude, we were calling the rise of Tozawa before anyone else. We're like, hey, that was pretty funny what Tozawa did. That was okay. That was before the dance. And then he started getting the dance, and the man is getting a sponsored segment, the Ruffle Shuffle. Dude, I'm telling you, this is a good barometer for big things. And I think that Katana Chance and Kaden Carter could be the start of a barometer. They could end up being women's tag team champions soon.
And I think Bronson Reed and Ivar will always bring it. We will be hyped to see them anytime. And then the future is they will tag team together.
Oh, because forget Eric, right?
He's hurt. I mean, it is what it is.
And
what is Bronson Reed? They're going to become mutual. It's like Godzilla and King Kong. Eventually, they tag team together, and it's going to be awesome.
Well, folks, that is our episode of Wrestling is Cool, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you listened this long and you aren't on Patreon, consider going to Patreon. Clearly you like the podcast if you made it this far. Clearly you like what we say, or clearly you hate us enough where you want to be mad about what we're about to say next. If you want to hear all those things early, check out patreon.com/SantiZap, where over 150 people are already giving a couple extra bucks to get the episode early, Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, and more. Sancho, what are you working on these days? What do you want to tell the people about?
By the time you hear this recording, I'll be doing some sponsor streams. Come check them out. They'll be on from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central. I can't tell you when I'm playing, but hey, anytime we get some love out there and you ain't doing anything on Friday and Saturday, come on by before SmackDown. Why not? Yeah.
Saturday, I'm going to be going to the Lions game. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Mediocre football. Awesome.
Yeah, Lions Broncos. That's what I'm going to go see.
Actually, Broncos.
No, they're both good teams. What do you mean mediocre football? Lions are like 8-3.
It's like when you're the Cowboys and you're used to prestige. Nah.
Oh, okay. All right. Enjoy losing in the divisional round like you always do. Folks, you can find me over on youtube.com/SantiZap. You can find me over on twitch.tv/SantiZap. Those are the two places where I really am the most active. Twitter. I've also been cooking on Twitter recently. Go check me out over there. Folks, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Wrestling is Cool. If you're on YouTube, make sure to leave a thumbs up. If you're on a podcast service, leave it a review, whatever it might be, whether it's like a 5-star on... if you're on Spotify right now, Spotify listeners, 5-star this. 5-star it right now. We need you.
Pull over first and then 5-star.
Don't even pull over. Do it while you're driving. Tokyo drifting.
No.
Just a joke, all right? For legal reasons, that was a joke. Take care, everybody. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Wrestling is Cool. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun during that episode, and I think Sancho did as well. I'd like to give a quick thank you to those that are at the coolest tier, in starting off with Abel Rodriguez, Alejandro Caballero, we had Ben Calloway, Ben Banlove, Blake Buxo, we had Cody Cook, we had Connor Williamson, Crunchy Tomato, Dominic McDonald, Gavin Alves, Isaac, Jackson Conley, Jennifer Johnson, Mako Mac Gaming, Michael Glass, Monte Moore, Nicholas Kyle, Reese Dowd, Rodolfo Reyes. We had Squishy, we had Sullivan Mayer, Super Malachi Galaxy, the B Meister, Two Crown, Wesley Simpson, Yellow Wantown. I think I said that right. Xerxito, Angel. Thank you all very much for supporting at the coolest here. Thank you very much. And again, hopefully you enjoyed that episode, and thank you for making this possible and helping keep the lights on and the mics on. Cheers, guys. Yeah.